According to the prison manual rules, the body must hang for about 30 minutes before the doctor finally announces that there is no sign of life and that the execution has been officially completed. Kaushal Pandey is with us. He's speaking to several people inside the jail premises. Kaushal, tell us what's the word that you're getting from inside Nagpur Central Prison?
जेल सूत्रों के अनुसार तो याकूब को फांसी दे दी गई है, लेकिन अभी उसको जिस तरीके से थोड़ी देर उसको टंगा के ही रखा जाता है, उसके बाद में डॉक्टर सर्टिफाइड करता है कि ये डेथ हो गई है करके, उसके बाद ही उसको नीचे उतारा जाता है।
और ये बॉडी ये फैमिली को देंगे, ये अब कंफर्म हो गया है क्या?
फैमिली ने क्लेम करती है और उसका अगर ज़्यादा हो हल्ला नहीं होता है, ज़्यादा पब्लिसाइज उस मैटर को नहीं किया जाता है, तो ये फैमिली को बॉडी हैंडओवर होगी।
ओके, बिकॉज that's the word that we are getting constantly from inside Nagpur prison, that the execution has taken place. There will be a period for which the body will be allowed to hang, after which the doctor will certify that there is no sign of life. That is when this will be complete. That is when it will officially be announced that the execution has been completed. Meanwhile, security constantly being beefed up as the sun comes out and there's more daylight. More and more people converge here outside the square, right outside Nagpur Central Prison, and we're seeing more and more security being deployed for the eventuality that the body is handed over to the family. Yaqub Memon's family members are at a local hotel called Dwarka Hotel. There are several correspondents who are over there, and the family is not coming out. The family, and I think that is also something that needs to be respected. This is a moment of mourning for the family also, while on the one side you've got justice finally being delivered for the victims of the Mumbai blast. There's also a life that has been taken, and that again is something that everyone needs to be very sensitive about. And here at India Today, we're taking particular care to ensure that this doesn't in any way turn into a tamasha. All those people who are coming here telling us that they want to comment on the hanging, comment on how they're very happy with the fact that Yaqub Memon has finally been executed. We're requesting them to stay away, so that this is really a somber moment as well, a moment where someone's life has been taken away. Of course, he's paying for his sins, but a moment which also shouldn't in any way be turned into a tamasha, and that's something that we're waiting. So we're waiting, Sanket, for a while longer to get a final confirmation from the doctors who will ultimately certify that Yaqub Memon is dead, that the execution proceedings have been completed. They've been on for a while now. We're showing you the posse of police personnel who've gathered over here. Constantly we're seeing security arrangements being enhanced, and I think the Nagpur police has done a very professional job. Yesterday there was a fair amount of chaos, but the moment we put that story out, the moment we highlighted how there were several problems, we saw immediate reactions to that. We saw how the Ministry of Home Affairs immediately reached out here. The local officials got activated, and they ensured that the cops are kept away. So we're not seeing any of the tamasha or the festivity around death that we saw last night. People very quiet, very somber, as they should be, and we're waiting currently for a final confirmation of Yaqub Memon's execution. Sanket.
All right, so the information that Rahul is actually giving us is that jail sources have confirmed to India Today that the hanging has taken place. However, there is a procedure that Vinay needs to be followed before it is officially declared by the jail authorities.
That's correct. In fact, one of the anecdotes about the process of hanging changed. Initially, when the Indian after independence, the judges would only write hanging. They wouldn't hang till death. In the mid-60s, if I remember correctly, there was a case where a person was actually hanged and he didn't die. Because once he was taken off the news, he actually survived this case. And since then, it's become a norm to write hang till death. And that's why, as Rahul was mentioning, the convict is actually supposed to keep hanging for about 20 to 30 minutes. And then a doctor goes to test and certify whether the actual death has taken place or not. Apart from that doctor, the people who are present around this is the local magistrate who needs to be present when this happens, the superintendent of the jail or somebody senior, and some independent witnesses.
How many people in all are supposed to be there in that?
So there should be at least
complex?
minimum of 5 independent witnesses, one magistrate of the area, a jail superintendent and police officers and a doctor. apart from the hangman or whoever else has been assigned the task of carrying out the execution, the person who pulls the lever. It may or may not be the hangman, it could be a police officer also who pulls the lever. So there are about 15, 18 people around when this happens. The prison authorities procedurally, and now certainly because we have more modern gadgetry in every phones, they make it mandatory for every single jail staff to deposit their cell phones. And they take away all electronic devices before this process starts, and this is really to prevent any kind of surreptitious filming of the entire process.
Because if you notice in the case of the execution of the former president of Iraq, Saddam Hussein, it was, you know, there were clips doing the rounds of his execution. So
yes, although in that case it wasn't really so much of a trial which led to it. Absolutely. It was more like the US Army carrying it out and perhaps leaking it deliberately. So this was part of the propaganda war the US was fighting. But in Indian law, the procedure is pretty well laid out and it's usually followed to the T.
Now this has been one case where we have been at India Today live through the course of the night. A huge, in fact, the one thing that Yaqub Memon's family will not perhaps be able to say is that all legal options were not explored. It's unprecedented that at 2:30 a.m. you have the Supreme Court carrying out a hearing in this case. So as far as the legal recourse is concerned, every possible recourse was available to Yaqub Memon, explored, and the options were given.
Yes, and I think what is also very unusual is that this is perhaps one of those very few cases where there were 4 rounds of judicial review at the Supreme Court level itself.
Absolutely.
That has not happened in too many cases. So the arguments of whether this was not passed through the legal test or not are not really valid. I mean, this has happened 4 times over in the Supreme Court, and each time the court has come back with the same view. Different judges have come back with the same view. So clearly, the respect for institutions needs to be maintained. On the contrary, I think one of the other points, and maybe for viewers who are joining in the morning, I think, Sanket, a lot of viewers would have missed the entire drama that happened through the night. It's very important for us to give them a sense of what preceded this hanging. This, again, when you say unprecedented, it was pretty much this, that very rarely will you see the Supreme Court opening its offices at 2 in the morning and 3 judges being roused from their sleep and being asked to come back to the Supreme Court to hold a full court. The full bench sat in the Supreme Court at 2 in the morning and began hearing an urgent petition that was being moved by Prashant Bhushan, Anand Grover, Vrinda Grover and Nitya Ramakrishnan, some of the top lawyers in India, asking for an intervention in the case where the hanging can be delayed by 14 days. And now this reason for 14 days is actually a technicality that exists in the Indian law. The technicality says that from the date the mercy petition of a convict has been rejected, the convict must be given 14 days to carry out one or all of the 6 possible situations. Now, what are those 1 or 6 situations? Number 1, the law says that a person who's on death row may have issues related to his will which need to be settled, because he may own a property or whatever else that he has and he wants to will it to whoever he wants to, so he needs to get time to do that. The law also says that it is possible that the family members or the loved near and dear ones of somebody on death row live in a place where it takes time to come to the spot where he's being hung. That's why it's given 14 days. The third thing which is mentioned very clearly is that it also allows the convict to come to terms with the fact and be peace with his or her own God. So these are very clearly laid out scenarios which the court settled in 2014. This was the plea that was made in the court at past midnight. The only point of argument then was because in this case there were 2 petitions of mercy that were filed, one last year and one now. Which one was the point from which the 14 days should be calculated? The fresh set of lawyers were arguing that the petition that was rejected today is the point from where 14 days should be calculated, and hence he should be given another 14 days. The judge obviously didn't agree with that.
Okay, so which basically means that in the eyes of the law, these 14 days were calculated according to the previous mercy petition which was rejected by the
Precisely, because the court's argument was that once the mercy petition was rejected the first time around, it gives you enough time to carry out all those 6 provisions that have been laid out in the court in the 2014 judgment. And that is how this request for 14 days of clemency, 14 days of grace period was not allowed. The Attorney General, on the other hand, has made a very vociferous argument in the court that they are using this as a trick to buy time, and then they will go and seek more legal recourse to delay this. Remember, in Indian law, there is only one condition on which hangings have been stayed or completely removed by courts, and that has been the principle of inordinate delay. Remember, the Indian statistics also suggest that in the last 15 years or so, 270 death petitions have been completely disposed of, mercy rejected. Only 3 people have been actually
because of the delay
sent to the gallows.
Okay.
So there are over 260 people who are actually facing deaths but have not been hung. And in such cases, the courts have now started saying that you cannot keep a person inordinately waiting for death to arrive. And I think this was the strategy that perhaps the defense counsels wanted to use today, which is what the AG was arguing against.
Okay. Okay. Well, all of this that Vinay was actually telling our viewers is something that was deliberated and discussed all through the night in the Supreme Court and was extensively covered right here on India Today. And only this morning we learned that the Supreme Court does not have even a shred of doubt left now as to what legally should be the right way forward, and that is why it was decided that they are not going to give in to those arguments, and thus clearing the way for his execution. Let's see if we have Rahul Kamal back with us from the Nagpur jail, Nagpur prison. Rahul, if you can hear me, first of all, if you could just describe the security around the Nagpur Central Prison.
Well, there's huge security, Sanket, and my sense is that as more and more people gather over here, the security arrangements keep increasing. And I've got Amruta, who's got a list of all those people who are there. There are about a dozen odd people who are at the yard where this execution is being carried out. It includes the judicial magistrate, medical officers, the superintendent, the DIG prisons is there. Tell us more about the specifics of who the people are and their own specific involvement in this.
See, the rule says that there have to be at least 5 to 6 people, and the designation is also given in the prison department's manual. The first person who is present there is judicial magistrate. His name is Girish Joshi. He is from Nagpur. The second person is CMO of the jail department. His name is Tiwari. The third person is superintendent of this particular jail is Yogesh Desai, and he is now handling the DIG charge also. The other 2 constables are also present there to see what are the other arrangements. And the next person is the DIG of this particular area, and his name is Rajendra Dhamne. All are the senior officers, DIG level rank officers, but we haven't got the confirmation of Meera Borwankar whether she is inside or not. We have seen that she came to this Nagpur jail yesterday morning. She was continuously there. Before that, the charge was with Swati Sathe, one of the very senior most officer from prison department. She was continuously coming from last 2 weeks. So these are the people who are present there inside, and in front of them the entire execution took